Good morning. This is Math 5-4, Lesson 108. We are naming place value and naming decimal numbers. So we're going to start with a number. 1, 2, 3, decimal place 4, 5. Let's look at the number 3. If we got rid of the decimal number, we know that this is 123. The 3 is in the ones place. The 2 is in the tens place. And the 1 is in the hundreds place. Okay, now we have the decimal. Decimal is always said as and. 123 and 45 hundredths is how we would say this number. So the 4, the number right to the right of the decimal, is in the tenths spot. I look at the ones, the decimal and the ones as a bookmark. You have something, a mirror image on either side, tens and tenths on opposite sides of the ones. So now we look to the right of that, tenths. The next one out was hundreds, so the next one out is hundredths. There, a little hard to write on this angle. So we have the word hundred with a THS at the end. Don't forget that D. So to the right of the decimal, you have the tenths, then the hundredths, and it keeps going. You will learn about that later. So they want to see, they're asking you an example 1. Name the place value of the number 3 in each number. So let's underline those so we don't forget. So the 3 here is to the left of the decimal number. We know to the left of the decimal number is the ones. So the answer to that one is ones place. Just like you would see 23, 3 ones. Here we have 2 and 34 hundredths. The 3 is just to the right of the decimal, and if you look to the right of the decimal, that is our tenths, which you've been learning already. Here we have the 3. We have 32. 30 implies 3 tens. And finally, letter D, we have 4 and 23 hundredths. The 3 is 2 to the right of the decimal, which is the hundredths. Squeeze that in there. 100 with a THS at the end. All right, so for the next one, example 2, they are looking for which number is in the same place as 5 and 8 and 5 tenths. This is to the right of the decimal. This is in the tenths spot. So which number is to the right of decimal in the tenth spot? Number is 4. 4 tenths. Now they're going to teach you how to write decimal numbers out as words. So we have the number 562. We always say that the same way, 562. The decimal number is and every time. The decimal number means and, which is why we don't say 562. Now, I know we've been over this in class. It is 562 and 35. You say that as normal, 35. And where is the 5? In the hundredths place. So we have 562 and 35 hundredths. So let's look at example 3, letter A. We have 1, 2, decimal point 3, 4. We would say that number, we all know this is the number 12. What is the decimal point? And then we have the number 34. And the last digit 4 is in which place? Hundredths. So it said 12 and 34 hundredths. Let's look at B. We have 1 decimal point 3. Well, we say this number as 1. Decimal point is and we have the number 3. And what place it is that in? The tenths. So 1 and 3 tenths is how you say that number. Just like I'm using the words here, 1 and 3 tenths, 1 and 3 tenths. Let's look at this next one. We have the digit 6 to the left, so that is a 6. Again, the decimal point is and. Then we have a 0 and a 7. Do we write 0? No. We just say 7. Right? 6 and 7, what? 7 is in which place? Hundredths place. Okay, don't confuse this with 6 and 7 tenths. This is 6 and 7 tenths. All right, 6 and 7 hundredths. The 7 is 2 to the right of the decimal point in the hundredths place. 7 here is in the tenths place. They're different numbers. Okay, so if you have any questions, I will be in Discord.